Stephen, great to see you.
Good to see
Hey,
you.
and congratulations. It's really exciting that we've managed to get this done. You're a fantastic candidate. The landlord was very happy, and I think as a tenant you'll be great. So I thought I'd get you in here just to kind of explain how it all works, so we can get all the processes in place, so that we can get you in the house ASAP and move forward with it all. So I've got a lot of information here which I'm going to give to you anyway, which you can take home and have a look at, but just sort of explains what we're sort of signing up to. And as discussed, as you can see in this document, you're going to be paying $480 per week in rent. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you've provided me with direct debit details. That's correct. You provided,
yes.
Yes. So that money will come out every Thursday.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy with Thursdays?
I just make sure I've got money in that account.
Just make sure money's in that account, and that will come out on Thursdays.
Okay.
Now, bond. Do you understand how bonds work?
Yes, gets lodged with the authority.
Correct. So now, whilst it's not a legal requirement to have a bond, in Victoria we require it. So for you to move into this house, you need to pay a bond, and in this case, it's going to be 4 weeks' rent.
Yes.
Okay, so 4 times 480 is $1,920. So the bond's going to be $1,920. You pay that to me. I'll put that in the trust, and I'll put that in the bond. I'll pay the bond authority for you, and of course that bond sits there so that if there's any damage to the property, you know how bonds work. I don't need to explain it to you, but
yeah,
we hold that bond.
Bond at the end. And
Correct.
It's signed off by both parties.
You know your stuff.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So that's the bond lodgement, and of course, in terms of the way that our agency works. As I said, direct debit every Thursday. We keep in contact. We give you reports on payments, just so you're aware. So it's in your inbox every week, and receipts. Okay. And the bond receipt, send you a bond receipt once I've lodged that as well. Any questions on that part of it all?
No, you told me how much the bond is.
Yeah.
Told me what my rent is. I think that's fine in regards to anything to do with payments.
Fantastic. Okay. So terms of agreement, and this is all in the document. You're going to sign a 12-month lease. Mm-hmm. Okay, so understanding that once we sign this document, you're locked in for those 12 months. Should you want to break that lease, should you want to leave early, there's potentially some fees and charges associated, okay?
Yeah,
so
I understand.
Obviously, you can't just walk out of a 12-month lease. Similarly with us, we can't just call you up and say, hey Stephen, you're out.
The landlord has to approve it.
All that. So there's only some certain extenuating circumstances where that can occur, but in most senses, 12 months you're locked in. The conditions of property, this is effectively your property. Treat it like it's your own, so do treat it with care, but we expect that you make yourself feel at home. We want you to feel like your place, all right? Don't want you to feel like you're living in someone else's house. That being said, we expect a level of care, of course. We've signed off on no special conditions and terms. There's nothing that you really required, nothing that the landlord really required. I mean, it's a new build, it's a new house, so there's nothing that really need to know about that. So, yes, and I've explained to start with, for you to move in, we require 2 weeks rent, and of course that bond that we've just discussed. So, if you're comfortable, we'll take that 2 weeks rent out direct debit, you'll pay your bond, and we're away.
Yeah.
Happy with that? I'll tick that off. All right. Now, I've got the tenancy documentation. This has got all the information that you need. That's got the landlord details. That's got my details. It's got your details. It's got the details of the property. So have a scan of that. Have a look at it. See what you think. And if you're comfortable with all that, sign it and get it back to me as soon as you can, all right? So have a look through there. There shouldn't be any concerns with what's on that. But I've just got to give you that and make sure that that is fine. In terms of copies, once you signed a copy there. I'll get you a signed copy that I've done as well, as has the landlord, and that should be fine. Now, I need to get you some keys. So, there's keys. There you go. That's the keys. That one there is for the garage. That one there is for the entrance. And you've got keys. We'll get you 2 copies of the keys. Yeah. Obviously, we keep 1 key here. And we wouldn't enter the property without telling you first. Obviously, we do that for property inspections, and I'll get to that in a second. But they're yours. If you are going to copy a key, can you let us know, please? Just so we know how many copies are out there. It's just important for us, You've got security devices, so I can tick that off. Okay, so contact people that you're going to need. You've got my details. I'm going to give you a list of contacts. That's going to have our preferred maintenance supplier, Jim. So Jim is someone that you can use for any maintenance that you require, particularly urgent ones. If you can't get onto me or you can't get onto anyone else, Jim's the man, and he'll come and deal with any repairs of an urgent nature. But of course, he can also do any of the other repairs. I think in the circumstance of just a general inquiry, call me for things that aren't urgent. I'm talking, a door's not working or, a window lock is broken. Things that are urgent, like if there is a storm or flood or you notice, electrical wiring, things that need to be done quickly, you can call Jim and we're signed off on that stuff getting done straight away. Sure. Any questions on that?
No.
No? Okay, good. So other people for you to contact on this list, my assistant, she's also available anytime you need. Obviously anyone at the office, if you've got issues with keys, if you've got issues with property stuff, do let us know. We like to keep in touch with our tenants, when you require.
Is this just via phone or?
Well, what do you prefer? We like to
email.
You're an email guy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. So email Stephen. If I require something urgent, would you prefer text or phone call?
Text.
Text message? Okay. Fantastic. I'll make a note of that. Okay. In terms of the safety requirements, we've done the smoke alarms. They've been checked on the first of the month. So they are good to go. They're hardwired, so you don't need to worry about them. And the gas systems and the hot water systems have also been checked for leaks and etc. And they're all safe. I need to mention, as you saw when you, and I'll mention this with the condition report, garden's great, everything's maintained, the house is pretty much brand new. As I mentioned, it was built last year. So that's just for your noting. The condition report, now I'm going to provide you with this condition report. We've done a property inspection and I've ticked off on where I think the property's at in terms of its condition. Go through it, walk through the house, tick off anything you notice. It's a bit like when you get a rental car and you've got to tick off all the scratches and dents and whatnot. But I think you'll find that it's in the condition that we think it is.
So I'll just mark up any problems.
Mark up any problems, just so before we go in, just before we walk in, that you're comfortable with the condition of the property.
Yeah.
And any concerns we can work through. But as mentioned, house is brand new. Even the carpets are brand new. Appliances are new. The garden is really well kept, in good condition. So these are things that we note, obviously, at the end of tenancy as well, and that's something that can come out of your bond if we notice damage and whatnot. You are allowed to have general wear and tear. So expectations is you live in the house, it's your house. A cigarette burn in the carpet, not general wear and tear. Bit of rubbing, general wear and tear. So that's fine. Listen, if you do have complaints, I've got to tell you this, by law, that you're able to lodge a complaint. I would prefer you come to us first. If there's any complaints, we can work it out through us. But if you so need, you can go to VCAT and you can talk to them about any complaints you have about myself or the property or the landlord or whatever. But as I said, we like to think we work these sorts of things out personally. So do come to us and have a chat to us about that. And then finally, in terms of your rights, you have rights as a tenant, as you would imagine. And so again, should you have any complaints, come to us. But in terms of your rights, if you need any more information that's on the sheet that I'm going to give you, tenantsvic.org.au, and that's got all the information on what your rights are. And they're significant, so don't feel like you're in a lesser position because you're the tenant. Similarly, Consumer Affairs Victoria, at their website, a plethora of information for you to make up any decisions for you. That's just something I have to tell you, and it's all in this document. So I'm going to leave you with the tenancy agreement, the condition report, and everything you need. This is also from our agency. This is just a contract that we put between you and our landlord and us. Go away, have a look at it, chat to anyone that you need to.
So what about inspections?
Well, I've done a property inspection. That's the condition report.
But when I'm at...
Oh, sorry, apologies. How do we do? Yes. So we do an inspection after 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know of that. We'll keep in contact to make sure it's...
Do I need to be home?
You don't have to be. You can be, but it's completely up to you. It's probably better if you're not, but it's up to you if you want to be there. Okay? And again, the landlord may come through as well. They're allowed to. They want to come through with me, but that'll be a decision that they'll make. But yeah, first 4 months and then every 6 months after that, depending on whether you're still in property after the 12-month period. Any other questions?
No.
Happy?
Oh, actually, when do I need to return the condition report?
I mean, you need to return it before we start the tenancy agreement, basically. So I'd say in the next day or so. So if you can head in, you've got the keys now. Have you got have you got time the next day or so to go through the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do that. Get that back to me, and then we can sign off this agreement and get you started.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Stephen, always nice to see you. You've got the keys there. You've got all the information. You've got my phone number.
Correct.
Be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.